Check, check, check. Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican Queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV. And this is just a quick How I See It live. I am just going to jump right into some of the things that I wanted to discuss. And so, if you are here, please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. So, first things first, let's talk about Funky Dineva and his apology to Claudia Jordan during the Essence Fest, I think it was. I said on my Twitter, and I said what I said, I'm not taking it back. Funky Dineva is out here literally dry begging, in my opinion, for a check. And there's nothing wrong with wanting some more coins, but he sees that Claudia out here has bounced back from, that whole TGIF debacle. Armand Wiggins, he's also bounced back. Doing, he has a slot right now with Angela Yee. So everybody's pretty much bounced back, and I don't know what's going on with, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with Funky Dineva's YouTube channel. I don't watch his content at all. Personally, a man who would sit and talk about a black child in the way that Funky Dineva did when it came to Blue Ivy when she was a baby will never have my respect, will never, ever, ever, ever have my respect. The way he talks about Chloe Bailey and her weight and how she looks, in his opinion, he will never have my respect. For the women who, especially the black women who flock over to Funky Dineva's, channel to consume his content, I say shame on y'all. I say shame on y'all. But as I said, he is out here dry begging for a check, in my opinion. And let's see what happens with that. Claudia Jordan would be a fool to share another platform with him. I hope she is not falling for. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm gonna talk to my daughter real quick. Hi, Miss Cece. How are you? You said I've never been a FD fan. I've never been a fan of his either. When that situation happened with him and what's her name? Michelle Atielian. I don't even know the ins and out of their beef, but I just felt like some of the things that he said about her as a woman was extremely distasteful. And it was on track with just how he spoke about black women in general and little black girls. And as I said, I will never, ever, ever, ever respect him. And the women like Heavenly and Quad and some of these other reality TV stars that keep him around. I mean, in my opinion, all those women are not nice people anyways. So as my grandmother would say, ooh, my Jamaican accent came rolling out a while ago. As my grandmother would say, child, birds of a feather. Birds of a feather. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So Claudia girl, I hope that I don't see you on any platforms with him, sharing any screen time with him. going back to doing content with him. I hope you, took his apology with a grain of salt and still keep it moving like you have been doing. And that's where I'll leave that. Um, Speaking of Heavenly, because I just said her name, I just saw where People magazine posted that she is supposedly running to be state rep down there in Atlanta for district. I don't know what number the district is, but she is trying to put her hat in the political ring. And what I say to that is the political bar right now, y'all, is so low. It is so extremely low that she could probably win. That's how low it is. That's how low it is. I've never heard Heavenly say anything valuable. I've never heard her say anything intelligent when it comes down to politics. All I've ever seen from Dr. Heavenly is gutter snipe behavior. That's all I've ever heard from her, seen from her. And as I said, the political bar is low. So it's like, okay, if another low down gutter snipe wants to run for office, then I guess. I guess. But it's extremely laughable. Every time I saw Millie Chun post it, and I just put a whole bunch of laughing emojis under Millie Chun's post because I felt like it was really funny, like Heavenly running for office. Ugh, the jokes write themselves. The jokes write themselves. I was over there on all true teas Instagram. She posted about it, and the same thing I'm saying here is the same thing I said over there. I haven't heard or seen Heavenly do anything in the community as it relates to politics. Maybe she's been doing it behind the scenes, but we have been watching this lady on Married to Medicine for what, 10 years, and I've never heard her speak about politics in a way that made me feel like Heavenly should run for office or any kind of office. And just her behavior alone makes me feel like she would not be the best candidate. But again, the political bar is so low right now that the lowest of the lows could actually run for office and win. Because obviously, people don't have enough of a solid moral compass to ensure that the people who they're putting in office are people who want the best for the entire country, not just some of its people, but all of its people. So, what is one more low life? I'm just saying. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I see it. Real Housewives of Atlanta, I saw Shamia on Leah Henry's or Leah Lemonade's podcast or something. She was doing an interview with Leah, and she was talking about, you know, her issues with Brit. Shamia feels like Brit is the reason for her and Portia having issues this season, but I just I felt like the issues between Shamia and Portia when it comes to this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta started because Angela wanted her lick back because Portia was down in Tennessee, or was it Nashville? Well, Nashville, Tennessee. Ooh, senior moment just happened a while ago, y'all. Portia was on the trip in the pool talking about she should, F Angela's husband, and Shamia was laughing about it. And Angela felt like she's gonna get her lick back by telling Portia that Shamia has been sitting around talking to them about the issues that she has or still has with Portia. I felt like that's how it started. And Brit telling Portia about, allegedly Shamia showing her text messages between her and Portia. I felt like Brit did that after the fact because Shamia chose to embarrass her in Guyana. Was it Guyana or Grenada? Um, on the cast trip regarding donations. And what was said about that, hi TNTG mom, what was said about Shamia doing that to Brit on the trip and then gaslighting her in the moment with, all the passive aggressive behavior, is that on the after show, both Shamia and Brit shared that Shamia brought off camera, took Brit out for lunch, and they talked about Brit and the donations that she's made. And Shamia, told Brit that, she need to show up better and she need to donate more. And Britt asked Shamia, like, what do you think would be a good amount for me to donate? And Shamia gave her a number. And Britt actually gave Shamia more money towards, donating items. So for Shamia to now go on camera and act like all Britt gave were the 2 rolls of toilet paper that we saw her give in the scene, it was wrong. And then tried to gaslight the girl as if she wouldn't know that you're talking about me, Shamia. You're talking about me. And I said in a previous video that, or a previous live stream, that I didn't take what Britt said as her talking about Shamia's daughter. I took it as Britt calling Shamia out for saying, her daughter was really sick, and having the ladies feeling like, okay, as soon as you leave this trip you're gonna go straight home, but you were in Miami having shots with Kelly. Shamia cleared it up and said that she had a layover in Miami, and I guess what she did was she flew her mom and her daughters out to Miami, and I guess they actually ended up staying a couple days. Now, I can understand Shamia feeling some type of way, this girl coming for her motherhood. I can understand that because having a sickly child, going through all those motions, night after night, being in the hospital, all these things, physical therapy, all these things that this baby has to go through. And for someone to make it seem like you're not a great mom when you have sacrificed so much to make sure that you're always there for your child who is sick. I can understand Shamia feeling some way about that, but I am not going to sit here and say, oh, Britt was talking about the baby, because that's not what happened. And I wish that Shamia would take some accountability. Like, Portia and Shamia, they have talked about the different things in their friendship that has, caused a rift over the years. And so, if behind the scenes, Shamia, you're showing people text messages and you're bringing up old stuff, and it sounds like you're still resentful towards Portia, you have to understand the reality game, Shamia. Even though you've been a friend of for so many years, you should still understand the reality TV game that at any point in time, these women, if they get into a beef with you or they get into a beef with Portia, they're going to bring up all the things that you're sitting around telling them, even if they're the ones asking you, like, hey, what's going on with you and Portia's friendship? Now, if somebody asks you that, Shamia, if you and Portia are in a good space currently, you should say, nothing's up with me and Portia. In the past, we've had our issues, but right now we're great. That's what you should say. But instead, it seems like you were sitting around just venting, 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 and venting. And then these girls bring it back to Portia, and Portia is here feeling like, well, Shamia and I have talked about all these things. I don't understand why it's being brought up like it's currently still an issue. And I think that's the disconnect. And Shamia won't own that. She wants to make everybody else the reason for her and Portia being at odds right now. But the truth is, Shamia, it's you running your mouth that's caused this rift between yourself and Portia in this moment. Miss Cece said, sorry, I wish Britt had enough backbone to show up at the reunion. However, if the daughter was sick, how she recover Ooh, good question. Good question. I don't know. There is just something about Shamia, so especially when she's talking, doing this interview with Leah. I was like, wait a minute, you had a layover and you flew them to Miami for what? The 12 the 6 hours that you like, it didn't make sense. But I mean, if that's her story and she's sticking to it, then I guess. But I do wish that Brit, because at the end of the season, people were pretty much on Brit's side. They were on Brit's side against Kelly, and they were on Brit's side against Shamia. And if Brit had shown up to the reunion, I think that she would have been the MVP of the reunion. I think the issue between Brit and Kenya, in my opinion, I feel like the whole threat and then the whole showing of the picture and all of that, I feel like it's really small when you compare it to several other things that has happened on Housewives over the years. And I felt like they could have gotten past it had they kept Kenya. I get why they had to say, Kenya, you're a liability, you gotta go. I get that. But I feel like if they had kept Kenya around, it would have been a great season in seeing how Kenya and Britt were able to navigate that whole thing. And I really do wish that Britt had gone to the reunion, because if she had, then she would have aired Kelly out for being a hater, because that's what it was given. And then she would have also proven Shamia to be, in my opinion, a liar when it comes to this whole I'm not talking, about Portia behind her back type of thing, because that's what it seems like Shamia has been doing. I think Shamia came into this season of Housewife wanting to be as much of a star as Portia has been over the years. And I feel like Shamia was willing to throw Portia under the bus by airing out all the things from the past that, you know, Shamia has felt a way about, but has never been able to really express on camera, because being a friend of, uh, it's not really about you. It's about the main characters, the housewives. So now that she has a peep, she's like, now I can light you up in a way that I've always wanted to on TV. But it just came off to me a little bit snaky. Honestly, it came off a little bit snaky on Shamia's part. Um, oh, continuing on the Shamia thing, she said that at the reunion, her and Portia, they made an agreement that they won't discuss each other in the press. So let's see how that's going to work out. Let's see how that's going to work out, especially when the three parts of this reunion airs, when they have to relive everything that was said at the reunion, when people start commenting, when people like myself start doing videos and commentary and all of that. Let's see if they're going to be able to stick to that agreement. Portia hasn't been saying much, and probably we won't hear a lot from Portia, because, and I'm a segue into Nene now, because Portia goes to Scotland soon to film for Traders. And Nene gave us the film date. I guess she said July 10th or something like that is when they start filming. Speaking of Nene was supposed to be on Traders. So the rumors are true. Nene was supposed to be on Traders, but she had to turn the opportunity down because her son Bryce ended up in the hospital. He has some health issues where he had heart surgery. He got a heart donated, and according to Nene, his body was rejecting the heart, and he was in the hospital, I guess, from like maybe late May or something. So now he's doing much better, she said. So thank God for that. But yeah, Nene was supposed to do Traders. I do feel though, and Nene shared this on Cynthia's and Crystal's Humble Brag podcast. I watched the YouTube episode today. And it was a great interview. I enjoyed the conversation. I wouldn't call it an interview. I would call it a conversation. I love when people can just sit and talk and it doesn't feel like a Barbara Walters interview. Shout out to Barbara Walters. Did Barbara Walters die? I think she passed away. Ooh, somebody tell me in the comments. I think Barbara Walters passed away, right? But I don't want mm, when celebrities or what or whoever are sitting down and they're having an interview. I don't want it to sound like an interview. I just want it to sound like it's a couple of homegirls, it's a couple of friends at the barbecue just having great conversation. And I was thoroughly entertained by the conversation that Nene, Cynthia, and Crystal had. It was a great interview. And I guess Nene is still dating the African dude that she started dating after Greg passed. I don't remember his name. Cause she said they've been together for 4 years now. So okay, Nene. um so yeah, if you haven't watched that Bragg interview with Nene and Cynthia and Crystal, please go and check it out. Hey, Inet, how are you, girl? What else do I want to talk about? So I discussed Funky Dineva, Dry Begging, Heavenly, aka Dr. Hellish, aka Elaine, wanting to be a part of the low bar in terms of politics. As I said earlier, the bar is really low right now when it comes to politics. So hey, if she wants to go and run, be my guest. But I want to see what her campaign looks like. I'm not gonna lie, I want to see what her campaign looks like. I'm gonna be putting out stuff, the truth about how she talks, how she sounds, how ignorant she is when it comes to certain things, and ask the people of Atlanta if that's really who they want to represent them. And who knows? Maybe the people say yes. Maybe the people say yes. But as I said, the political bar is low. So Heavenly is joining the low bar. That's it. Who else did I talk about? Oh, Shamia, her interview with Leah. Go check that out. Go listen to all the things that Shamia had to say about the season. I want Shamia to take more accountability, own the fact that there are certain things that she should have discussed with Portia before the season began. There's certain things she should have discussed with Portia before the season began. Maybe if she did, they wouldn't be where they are right now in their friendship. Oh, I forgot to talk about too Shamia and Candy and some of these other celebrities who, after the verdict was read in the Diddy trial, they're now out here with their chests just being full on supportive. And I just feel like it's kind of cowardly to not have been vocal in their support while the trial was ongoing. It was absolutely crazy. Like, why didn't we hear Tiny say all the things that she felt with her chest while they were going through the proceedings? Why didn't we hear this former friend of Kim Porter come out and talk about what God's will is or what God's will is not while the court proceedings were happening? I just feel like it's absolutely cowardly. I would think that people like Candy and people like Shamia, who talked about the DV that she experienced in a previous relationship. I mean, Shamia, would you like a post, Shamia, if somebody said about the man who was beating you up, Shamia, that it was God's will for the things that happened to you to have happened? Would you like that post? And if you wouldn't like that post, then the post that that lady made about the verdict or whatever being God's will and whatever, you shouldn't have liked that post. I don't care about a lot of the aspects of the Diddy case, the Diddy trial or whatever. There's a lot of part moving parts to it that I can honestly say I didn't understand. But what I do understand is that we saw the physical violence. We heard him apologize for it. We saw the text message. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that we saw with our own eyes. So whether you believe that some of the actual things were consensual or not, there are certain things that we can see with our own two eyes that obviously were not things that people consented to. Cassie didn't consent to being dragged through a hotel hallway. I'm sure she didn't consent to that. And I don't know what people's view is on God and spirituality and all of that, but I don't think that was God's will. So Shamia, as a DV survivor, I don't think that post was one that you should have liked. And people have been dragging you and Candy now for days, and y'all have not responded. Y'all haven't removed your like. So I guess y'all are standing firm in your support of the words that that lady expressed in the post. I think I was listening to Scotty by Nature. I can't remember the name of the lady right now that made the post that Candy and Shamia like, but Scotty was saying that this lady, I do know she was a former friend of Kim Porter. That's the mom of Diddy's twin girls, but she now lives in Atlanta. I guess she is maybe a close acquaintance with Candy and Shamia. So maybe they were scrolling, they saw that their homegirl posted something and liked it and didn't really read it. I don't know, but I just feel like that wasn't a post for y'all to like. I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it. Um, what Stephen A. Smith is thinking of running for office too, child. I don't know enough about Stephen A. Smith to even really say whether or not he should or shouldn't. I might have to go do some research, but when it comes to Heavenly, she's bottom wrong. So um oh, you're asking about Dr. Heavenly. But that's basically all I had to come here and talk about, y'all. I'm trying to get back into the groove of things when it comes to going live and doing content. I don't know. I've just not been in the headspace to do YouTube. There's too many things happening on YouTube. There's so many people that I've had to, just as Melody said, don't recommend this channel. Like, I'm like, what is going on? It's weird when things are happening online amongst people that when you came to this space you actually like them, and then things are happening and you just don't know what's going on. It's like you came in the middle or towards the end, and there's no catching up to know who's wrong or who's right in the situation, but it's just team too much and you wish everybody would stop. And so for the most part I was just like, ugh, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about it. But it's disheartening, and it makes coming to YouTube like super, super hard. And but I'm gonna keep minding my business. Sorry to those people, but I'm gonna just keep minding my business. And I hope y'all figure it out soon enough. But I'm trying to get back into the groove of things, trying to figure out what my content is going to look like moving forward. Still, I haven't been able to like focus on that. It was graduation season and now it's camp season and there's like a lot going on, but I have to really get into my creative energy. I really have to tap into that and figure out how I want my content to look going forward. I still want to review TV shows. I still want to talk about, different movies and series that I'm into. I want to give commentary on a lot of pop culture stuff. So just stay patient with me, and thanks to everybody that continues to tune in whenever I pop up and go live or when I post a video. I truly appreciate y'all's continued support. Melody Cherie has a TikTok live happening on the 12th of July. Is it the 12th? No, the 14th of July. And I guess this is in collaboration with Crocs. My baby girl is a Crocs girly. She loves the accessories. So I hope that a part of this TikTok live, they'll be selling Crocs accessories, because then I'm definitely gonna have to buy some for my baby girl. So make sure y'all go over to TikTok, Melody Cherie 11, and register for this Seventh Avenue Beauty and Crocs live TikTok shop event happening on July 14th. And I'm sure, as usual, whenever Mel does these huge TikTok live sales, she always comes with a new product. So I'm kind of looking forward to see what the new product is going to be. I have to re-up on my hair care system from Seventh Avenue Beauty. So that's a must buy. And I think I'm good right now on oils. I don't think I need more oils. I have another bottle. Oh, and a face wash. I definitely need a face wash. So, yeah. Oh, you have a. I don't have a Croc. I don't have Crocs for myself either. But my daughter, she has she has about two two or three pairs, and she loves her Crocs. She has a Hello Kitty one. She has a regular black one. Um, I don't remember what the other color is, but I think what she loves the most is being able to accessorize them. She loves the accessories. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to get some accessories for her. Oh, I need to try Ooh, you just reminded me, Miss Cece, the pineapple body oil. I need to get that. I really want to try that because I love, but then lately when I eat pineapples, I get that, that itchiness in my throat. Like I gotta like start scratching my throat and stuff. So I don't know if I'm becoming allergic to pineapples, but I love pineapples, so I might still buy the oil. I might still buy the oil. All right, y'all. So that is it for this live stream. Please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Until my next live stream or my next video, walk good. Bye.